Good morning. It's a fine Saturday morning. I'm down at the coast checking out the fresh air, and I noticed there was a gentleman here that he parked and got out of his car, and he took a coat he had and went out and picked up a bird, one of these seagulls here. There's some seagulls over here, and one of them was in the road, kind of wounded. And he took it and brought it over here and set it down. And what a class act, right? What a class act. A person there that's the bird will probably die, but the guy took his time to give that thing a leg up. I find that inspiring. I was driving out here to the coast this morning, which isn't a very far drive, mind you. But I was thinking about something that I wanted to share, and it has to do with keeping an open mind. And you know what? That bird just flew. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful thing. But it has to do with keeping an open mind, and I apologize for my poor video and cutting off the top of my head, but I assume you'd much rather look at the ocean than my big face. And I'm still on a bum leg here, so I'm kind of hunched down next to the car. But the point of the video today is keeping an open mind. There's so many people that I find in the movement of trying to inform others of the lies that are going on all around us all the time. There's so many great people doing so many great things and putting in so many hours of time. And I've got some people that I go to and I just think they're wonderful. They do they come up with these ideas and they point out truths, and they're wonderful. But I just can't get over sometimes how close-minded these people are when a topic doesn't fit their agenda. I try not to be that guy, and I hope that you can appreciate that. I was listening to, there's a show I listen to. It's a guy out of San Diego. It's called the Higher Side Chats, and there's a lot of great information, there. But I'm listening to this woman today, and I'll be damned if I can remember her name. But she's talking about the new chronology, how our history's been falsified by the Jesuits, and how Charlemagne never even lived, and her point is probably valid. There's this guy, I'm going to do more research, but there's this Russian guy, Lemenko or something, and he's written many books and done a lot of research on the fact that our history's been written by the Roman Catholics, the Jesuits, and it's all false, and probably Jesus and all the things that were supposed to have happened at the beginning of our calendar probably happened about 1,000 years later. So I'm not an expert on it, but it caught my eye. And here again, being an open-minded person, while it sounds kind of silly off the rip, I'm going to take the time to consider it. I'm going to consider it. Look into it. See if there's any there, right? But she says, because a lot of what that theory is based off of is off of the clouds, the moon, and astrology. So it's based on the fact that when some of these thinkers went back and they tried to match up what goes on with the moon and stars and sun, it didn't match up with what we're being told is our history. Pretty cool. But so she says the one thing that she can't stand, after all this stuff, she can't stand people that think that the earth isn't round. And she doesn't even consider it. She just dismisses it out of hand, and she says, because if that's true, well then none of this stuff about the timeline is true, because it's all based off of astrology. She says, I believe in this stuff. So again, it's that bad word of believe, because believe means you don't have to put any test to it. You just believe it. So she says everyone who's what she calls a flat earther is an idiot, because they can't possibly be right, because then that means that the stars and moon aren't going to follow a path, and you can't prove her theory right. Okay, well, maybe, or maybe we do live in a dome. Maybe we do live in a closed area. Maybe the stars and moon and sun still follow a pattern. She ever consider that? No, she's got to just say there can't be a flat Earth. The Earth has to be round and spinning at thousands of miles an hour, and this water here, I mean, it's just staying there, right? It's not flying off because of gravity, right? It's all ridiculous. I'm convinced, after doing the research that I've done, that we don't live on a spinning ball. I mean, I'm certain of it. Now, that doesn't mean I won't listen to somebody that says we do. I've been listening to somebody that says we do my entire life, and I haven't seen any proof of it. I've seen a lot of proof of the fact that we don't. So, again, open mind. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So that was what got me thinking about doing a quick video this morning, and now I'm going to throw in, and even Greg Carlwood of the Higher Side Chats. I mean, he agreed. He's like, yeah, it's just a bridge too far. I can't accept that we don't live on a spinning ball. I mean, come on. You really, in my opinion, if anyone does any legitimate research, they're going to know we don't live on a spinning ball. But I digress. So there's that, and then there's a couple other things. I ran into a frustration, not even a frustration, but just disappointing yesterday, because one of my favorite thinkers is Crow 777. I've alluded to him before, but he discovered the lunar wave, and he's just done a ton of work about things, from all aspects, from the Masons to Hollywood to religion. He's just a really well thought out guy, and I listen to him. I follow him. Well, he did a podcast this last week where he takes questions from subscribers, and someone mentioned the Mandela Effect, and he outright just said it's silly. He said it's a waste of brain cycles and it's a psyop. And he cited Sex and the City, and said, hey, I remember it was always Sex and the City, so the whole thing's stupid. This is a guy that's got an open mind, but yet when it comes to the Mandela Effect, he insists that it's stupid and doesn't look into it. And I could tell you that there is something there. I've done a lot of research into the Mandela Effect. I don't know for sure why it's there, how it's there, but it's there. There's changes to our history, and the whole point of it is not everybody. I mean, if you live that history, that timeline, that dimension, that reality, it is your reality. But someone else has a different one. And I'm going to do another video on the Mandela Effect again, just because I think it's necessary. Because too many people are discounting it as nonsense, when it's just not nonsense. And again, so there's another example. And then I will say, even some of these guys on YouTube that I really think are sharp, like Russian Vids, or they call for an uprising guy. I mean, they're great, and they point out a lot of neat stuff, but yet they'll never question Scripture. So they question everything in the world. Everything is against them and controlled except for Scripture, which has been written and handed down by the same fruitcakes that they claim run everything. But they believe that. So I don't get it. And every once in a while I'll post something there or ask them a question and they never answer. So it makes me wonder, is there an agenda, or is it just people just can't keep an open mind all around? They have to maybe focus on certain things and then shut other things out. I don't know. But that's all. Wanted to share that. Get out to the beach again, which is soak in a little bit of the beach. I might be moving east soon, so I'm trying to enjoy this part of the world a little bit more than I normally would, even with my bum leg. So I hope you have a great weekend, and I appreciate you stopping by and taking a listen. And I mean, my end message here is, when you're looking for the truth, you have to keep an open mind, and I would implore you not to just discount something out of hand because you don't think it makes sense. Because generally what I've found is when I dig into most of these things, there's something there of value. So thanks, and God bless, and have a fine weekend.